Welcome to Angry Allen. And today we're going to talk about two things. One's real quick, and the other one is disgustingly irritating and upsetting. So I want to spend most of our time on the number two. But number one, and I'm sure everybody on the planet has experienced this, it's the phone call brush off. So you're on a call and you really don't want to be on the call. So you say, I got another call coming in, or I'm late for a meeting, so I'm going to have to cut this short. There's a whole host of excuses the phone brush off. And I do it to people do it to me. But when people do it to me, it's usually in a circumstance where I'm trying to find out something about my insurance, my home, my car, some kind of service that I'm buying and paying for. And they're like, well, sir, you have to tell me your name and address and phone number, social security number, size of your shoe, what kind of socks you wear. Are they black or white? Do you wear jeans or a suit? They ask you everything under the fucking sun because they do not want to give you your personal information. And it happens with almost everything, even the fucking cable company. You can't, it's not cable anymore, but even the internet services. Everybody you call has your complete dossier, and they got more information about you than you do, and you're kind of locked out. As if you got one answer wrong, you're finished. You got to go back to square one. Or if you want a manager, they'll call you back within 72 hours. I could be dead by then. Fuck them. It's a ridiculous thing. And, so you get the phone brush off in many, many ways, but it's a daily event and everybody suffers from it. So I'd like you to I'd like everybody that follows and listens to give me their best phone brush off excuse. It's really important that we expose these frauds for what they are, and they're horrible excuses to make you endure more stress to get to where you want to go. And again, we all do it, and I've been guilty of it, but it's just that some things take priorities. Like if your mother calls and you're in a meeting, you're going to take her phone call. And I don't care who you are. You could be the CEO of the biggest corporation, but if your mother calls you, you're taking the call. Because if you don't take the call, you're really in trouble. So, the phone brush off. I'd like to hear all the excuses, and we're going to role play some of them when Texas Tim gets back from London and Paris, because, he's already thinking about staying over there because everybody's so nice and it's so clean. But, we got to talk about this and vet all these different excuses. And maybe we'll come up with some new ones and we could repackage them and sell the whole lot. Anyway, let's move on to the second and much more important topic. Everyone I know has had a bad situation, a bad experience at a restaurant. I think in certain restaurants, the difficulties are based on cultural norms. For instance, you like ethnic food. I'm not talking about going out for a hamburger. I'm talking about going out if you like sushi or Chinese food or Indian food. And those kinds of restaurants are, they're really, they could be excellent, but that's, the culture and the ethnicity comes through not just in the food, but in the way the customers are treated. And I've had some experience recently that is beyond all sanity. I don't even know how else to say it. So I'm out to dinner with a lady friend and her sister. We're talking. And then my oldest son showed up because he had just flown into town. And I told him, and I didn't even know he was going to get to dinner, but he gets, and he calls and he says, I'm here, I'm this. I said, okay, this is where we're eating dinner. Come join us. So he comes to join us, and the people that are running this restaurant told him he couldn't come in because he wasn't with the original party. That you can't add, you can't take away. So if I went there with 3 people, I can't add a 4th. If I added a 4th, they could kick us out. If you're 18, you can't go in this part of the restaurant. If you're 17 or under, you have to go to that part of the restaurant. You have to raise your hand to go take a leak. I have never, ever in my life experienced such piss poor customer relations than in some of these ethnic restaurants. And the shame of it is that I happen to like most ethnic food. I'll eat Ethiopian food, I'll eat Arabic food, I'll eat Italian, Chinese, Korean, you name it, Japanese, sushi. But the rule that I have never, ever, as an American eating in all these various places in various countries, have ever experienced what I experienced here in Richardson, Texas, trying to get Japanese food. You can't be seated till all the parties are there, your whole party is there. And again, if you get in because you say you're single and then your friend calls and says, hey, what are you doing for dinner? Well, I'm over here at this restaurant. You want to come meet me? All hell breaks loose. They won't let the person in. And if they do, they chastise you in front of everybody. And I'll tell you, their management is pretty, not only strict, but scary. So the other night, when my son joined us, an older woman came over to the table and instructed us that what he did was not acceptable, and generally he would be asked to leave, as we all would be, but they didn't, because I go there often. But I mean, it's a horrible threat to impose on a customer that comes often, number one, and spends money in your restaurant and leaves good tips for your help. And it drives me fucking crazy. I mean, my son was going to leave. The rule book was not passed out. It's like you got to have a whole HR department. They got to pass out the rule book. You got to sign for the rule book. You got to get tested on the rule book. And I have never been driven so nuts by so little. And in response to just wanting to enjoy a meal out with friends and family, to be treated like that. But, then it makes me wonder, are these people more insane than I am? Are they crazier than I am? Because how could you do that to your customers? And what's interesting about this particular time we got chastised, we're 3 people and we're sitting, we were directed to go to a table that fits 4. So here we are at a table for 4, and they're upset because somebody was going to join us. That means the tab would be bigger, the tip would be bigger, the table would be full. So I, for the life of me, can't understand why that's such an important rule. It's not like 3 people showed up and then you want to take in 8 more people to join your party. And under that circumstance, maybe I could understand them being a little testy. But why is adding a 4th to a table of 3 a penalty situation? And so it just leaves me at a loss for words regarding restaurants and their rules. Now, I could go into a Waffle House and the set of rules is a lot different. Maybe Waffle House isn't quite a restaurant, but you do get to eat there. And all these experiences, they get me nutty. They frustrate me. They make me, but the other night really got me angry because the stupidity of it. And it's hard to understand what the motivation is or was with this particular restaurant, and whether I'm a regular or not, to treat people in that fashion. And I don't even understand why they won't see you until your whole party arrives. I need somebody to explain that to me. People are coming in, And why do you need to, as the manager of that restaurant, why do you need to be involved in everybody's party? It just makes no sense to me. Maybe under a few specific circumstances, it might have an effect on rearranging tables, but generally, it's just mind-boggling how that could become such a significant issue. So, yeah, we had to hold our tongue the other night, but I could tell you, that's what I was going to tell them. So thank you. It's really, really oppressive when a hospitality business treats you worse than you could ever imagine. To be treated like that when you're paying for a service and a luxury and a good time, to be treated in that fashion.
Fuck you.
That's my answer to the rules in Japanese restaurants.